Welcome. My name is Michael Waniger. I'm the President and CEO for Hibiscus Children's Center, and I'm here today to wish you all a happy holiday season. As you can tell by the set, it's very festive. This is a time of giving, and again, what a wonderful time for Hibiscus Children's Center, who is currently going through its 30th year, celebrating 30 years of helping children who have been neglected, abandoned, and abused. This morning, I'm very, very happy to have two special guests with us today. Bob Lowe, who is the president and chairman of the St. Lucie board, and Bridget Hiller, who is recently new to the board. And again, I think what we're going to talk about today a little bit is why people need to be invested in Hibiscus here on the Treasure Coast. So, but before I get into that, Bob, first of all, welcome.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure being here. Thank you for asking me.
I'd like for you to, if you would, please, just to share a little bit about your background, how long you've been in the community, and what possessed you to be a contributing member and now president. And I might add, he is chair-elect, which means he will be the chairman of the governing board for all 4 counties starting in July. So again, welcome. And
thank you. It's an honor being here. I'm married to Sharon, my wife works at the college for about 30 years right now. I've lived in St. Lucie County for 38 years.
Wow.
And I'm a real estate broker in St. Lucie County for 30 years. I travel quite a bit in my business, but my wife was a social worker originally, and that's where I think I got some of my yearnings to do. And I started with St. Lucie County. I was on one of the first tourist development boards they had I served on, and I've served on many other committees. I'm on the Board of Adjustment for the county right now. I was also chairman and president of the board for New Horizons, on their board for a number of years. So I've really been very active. And then I joined, I was on Safe Space Board, and I joined Hibiscus, I think about you and I, about 3 years ago,
Correct.
Something like that.
Correct.
And I've certainly learned a lot and met a lot of great people.
Right. You've also brought a lot of new board members along as well, if I recall.
I've been blessed.
Yes, you have. And there goes the perfect example that if you want something done, give it to a busy man. Or in this case, a busy woman. Bridget, welcome. Welcome. And again, if you could do as well, kind of introduce yourself a little bit. And I know you're one of the newest board members we have, and we're very excited to have you. You come up with a lot of refreshing new ideas.
Well, thank you. And I'm excited to join the board. So, Bridget Hiller, my husband's name is Matthew. We have 2 little boys, 4.5 and 2.5, and 1 on the way. So we are very excited, but obviously having small children of our own, children are something that's near and dear to our heart. And my role, I have lived in Treasure Coast for about 8 years. I've lived in St. Lucie County for 4.5. We love raising our family here. It's a great place to live. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot of resources here. The Children's Museum, things like that we love being a part of. I work for Thriving Financial, which is a membership organization of Christians that strives to be wise with money, to live generously so they can strengthen their community. And as part of my role with them is a community engagement leader, is to help engage the members of Thrivent with nonprofits in their area. So I originally learned about Hibiscus because a lot of our members were already doing things for Hibiscus. And when I learned about it personally, I said, this is right up my alley. This is something I really want to get involved in, and I want to impact myself. And what I have found by talking to a lot of the people that I know, it only takes one person to get a lot more people involved, as we saw with Bob.
Right.
And it's just a great organization that is really easy to be involved in. I will say I am busy, but at the same time, Hibiscus is just kind of the icing on the cake sometimes. It's a great opportunity to meet some great people. And then when I toured the home, you guys are doing some fantastic things for children, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. So.
Well, thank you. We're very happy to have both of you here. Just for our audience again, Hibiscus Children's Center, for some of you, I know Port St. Lucie continues to be one of the fastest growing cities, so a lot of people are moving new to the area. But it was started 30 years ago by a lady by the name of LaVon Tilton, who asked the question, where do children go who have been abused, abandoned, and neglected? And there wasn't a place at the time. LaVon is still very active in our organization. What a wonderful thing that happened to sit there and see your dreams come true. I'm very blessed to be the president and CEO of this organization. I sat on the board as well. And there's, just so the people know in the audience out there, is that we span 4 counties. We have about 150 part-time and full-time employees, plus another 350 volunteers. There is the shelter, which basically houses children from birth to 12 years old. We have the village up in Vero Beach, which is 13 to 17 years, and then recently, the law passed this year that we have extended foster care for 18 to 21 for some of the children who may still feel that they have done their best during that period, but yet are not quite ready to go out into the community. We also have our mental health services here, right here in Fort Pierce, which do some fantastic jobs of the programs. We have Supporting Families in Crisis, which is nationally acclaimed, and here only in St. Lucie County. We have the Sexual Abuse Treatment Program, and one of the things that I always talk about that's not so pleasant is, unfortunately, the state of Florida is 3rd in the country in human trafficking. However, there are 15 sexual abuse treatment programs throughout the state, and we are currently ranked as number 1. Again, a lot of programs, a lot of volunteers, a lot of wonderful things. And as Bridget and Bob, I know we went together down at the shelter. I encourage everybody to look at our website, and it'll be on in our phone if you're interested in being a volunteer or whatever. But first and foremost, I think what happens is we can talk all day long here, but if you go to the shelter and you see the kids and you see this, and Bob, you and I did a tour just, I think about 2-3 months ago, maybe, not even that far. Can you give me some of your reactions, or how that affected you? Well,
number one, it was the people there do such a great job with these children. And there's even the business people in the communities, I understand, too, when a child at our shelter the village or shelter has a birthday, that there's a business there, a restaurant, that makes a birthday cake for every child there every time they have a birthday.
Yeah, Roosters. Yeah, they got to put a plug in them because they're wonderful people.
What a great place. Yes. But it's so well organized. Some children that were there we talked to and met, and just warms your heart. Mm-hmm. I couldn't wait to go home and tell my wife about this story, and it was just beautiful. It was a great experience.
You know, over the past 30 years, Hibiscus Children's Center has been the safe haven basically for over 250,000 safe nights. And the reason I say that number, because we throw a lot of numbers out, and all the organizations do and everything, but one thing I think that hits home, and you just reminded me of it, of 250,000 safe nights for children, behind every one of those numbers, there is a child. And behind every one of those children, there's a story. And what was your reaction, Bridget, when you had the opportunity to visit?
I visited during the school day, so the only children that were there were the really little ones, and they were at nap time, and I would have scooped them up and taken them home if I could. Of course, they all look like angels when they're sleeping, you know. But I was really impressed with the reward system in place to encourage the children to really feel good about themselves and build up the self-esteem, and you could see all the honor roll certificates on the wall and the pictures of the activities, and to see that the children, when they're there, they kind of become part of a little family, and they have this really good support system that children need to have in place, that they like school and they're doing well in school, and to have, I mean, I think there was close to a dozen kids that had reached honor roll from the home, and that's a huge achievement for most kids, let alone kids who have had a little bit of instability in their life.
Exactly.
So it just overwhelmed me. And the staff, of course, they're so caring and welcoming and always on top of things. And they just, you go to drop, I've dropped some toys off there for my boys, and they are just so grateful to always receive everything, even the stuff that goes to the Hibiscus thrift shop. So it's very...
If I can say, Michael, sure. I know while we were there, we were talking, there was a child there, a young child there that had issues with their family. And the family thought, well, let's try it again. And they went home for a week. And this child couldn't wait to get back to us because of the treatment they got and how well we took care of them. And it's so rewarding.
It is. And you both touched on it. One of the things that is so heartwarming for me is the passion that our staff has. And, you know, we talk a lot about the wonderful things that we're doing, but the one common denominator clearly is the passion for children. And again, in most cases, these children are there not for any reason other than the fact that they've been through difficult times through family. That's why the Supporting Families in Crisis is such a wonderful program with a 100% success rate. to hopefully prevent children from having to get into that environment. But once they do, you know, they have it where it's not just a food and shelter place. It's not an orphanage or a boys' town or something to that effect. We give them home life experiences that we would, as we were talking about with our own children. It's very important to teach them the values and the disciplines, because we had a young lady, and I remember when we did the State of Hibiscus in January, and I'm looking to, or excuse me, in June of last year, and we're looking possibly to do another version here in February. We had a young lady who talked to the audience, and I'll never forget it. She started in the shelter, progressed her way through the village because she was age at 12 years old, 13 years old. She goes to the village up in Vero Beach, graduated from Vero Beach High School, is currently attending college up in Gainesville, and is mentoring one of the young ladies, again, which she talked about her experiences, that how it really saved her life, and that when she graduated from high school, she thought this was just going to be a nothing event. But Guild ladies came in there and they bought her ring. They were in the front row, and when they announced her name, they all stood up and applauded, unbeknownst to this young lady. And as you might guess, the tears started happening. And when I have the opportunity to go in front of organizations and tell what wonderful things that are happening with Hibiscus Children's Center, I always sit there and say, I can make you cry in 2 minutes. I try not to, but sometimes I'm not very successful at that.
I wonder if you could mention, Michael, about our program now with the children that are 18, and they can come back now. We've got 4 of them in our building right now in Vero Beach.
Correct. That's a new law that was passed. We have, in fact, I just sent out an article that was in TC Palm here recently. A young man by the name of Chris, and I got to know Chris for a couple of years ago, and he and his brother, his mother was no longer around. His father was has an addiction problem. The family kind of wanted the younger one, not him, and so he was. He came to the village, has done really wonderful things. He's on the leadership program. I'm on the board of the Florida Coalition for Children. He came up there and he told me how much it's changed his life, and because of that, he's doing wonderful things. But the thing that is so heartwarming, here's a young man who, again, had difficult times, but his goal in life now is to get his engineering degree so he can take care of his father, who didn't take care of him. And again, this is some of the stories that happen this time of season. It's a great time of giving, a great time of reflection. I know that our website and our phone number will be there for all of you out there who have a little bit of time or a lot of time to donate your either monetarily or your time and mentoring. It means so much to all of us. I mean, the kindest act, like we're talking about, even birthday cakes. The community here, the Treasure Coast should be very, very proud of the Hibiscus Children's Center. It is a great organization doing great work, sometimes so far under the radar because it's not sexy to talk about good things. Sometimes it's, bad news sells. However, we're doing some wonderful things, and it's because of people like yourself and the leadership that you've expressed and the support. I will share with you, it takes about $7.5 million a year for our organization to stay solvent over the 4 counties. And that's, 5 facilities, as I mentioned, staffing, programs, services, all the types of things, of which we need to raise about $2.5 million through either grants, bequests, legacies, events, and or donations. And we just recently sent out our annual report, which basically, one of the things that we need to always tell the staff is, and the volunteers here, is this annual report has no pictures of me or any of the volunteers. It's all about the children. And that's what we talk about, and where your money goes and what wonderful things we're doing in the community to make that happen. A letter went out. We tried to explain to everybody what it is, but again, I'm going to make an appeal to encourage and invite you to attend our website. Get involved. It will make you feel really, really good.
If I can maybe touch base on what you're talking about, that we have 4 counties now because Okeechobee is just starting up with us, and each one of our counties has a board. And we probably have about 45 board members in the 3 counties. And underneath the board members, there are guilds. and our guilds are a fundraiser also for us.
Absolutely.
If we are always looking for good board members, if somebody has an interest out there that would like to join us, they can get our number there on their TV and call either yourself or myself. We like to give them a tour, show them what's available, or if you'd like to be part of a guild in Port St. Lucie or Fort Pierce, call us and we will get you with the right person and take you through it. Donations, it's Christmas time.
Yes.
Now's the time if you maybe open up your hearts a little bit. I think we'd take cars, boats, houses, wills, money, anything.
All of the above.
You know, so we certainly would like to help out there from the community.
That's well said, Bob. Thank you. And I know what a great partner Thrivent has been since you've joined us. We had an event, a wine and dine event down in Martin County, which I know your organization donated the mansion. Very, very successful. So if there's businesses and sponsors in there, you might want to sit there and say, well, gee, as an individual, maybe I can't do something right now, but maybe my company, or you can go to your organization. And Bridget, why don't you tell how you got involved with that a little bit, because that, again, is a heartwarming story.
Well, as I mentioned, Thrivent is an organization of members, and so we're tax exempt because of we're a fraternal benefit society. So all of our members, what would normally go to the government taxes off of their personal financial investments, they choose where to give it back in their community. So we had a board of volunteers, very similar to any other nonprofit, that tries to do good with these funds within the community in order to strengthen it. And they wanted to host an event at the mansion the year prior, and I have to just say thank you to Martin County, because that event didn't happen due to some various reasons. Instead of us losing the deposit, they said, well, we'll just roll it over the next year and you can find someone to do an event for. And so we reached out to Hibiscus because a lot of our members were already involved with you guys, making quilts and doing other things along the way. And reached out and just learned about you guys and decided, wow, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity. You had the volunteers through the guild in place to help it be a successful event, which is, it's hard to find doers, and definitely the guild are doers, and we have to thank them for all that they do, because it was just a great opportunity to get our members involved. The Thrivent members that were there loved learning more about Hibiscus, and it was just a wonderful night getting to know the current Hibiscus supporters. But for Thrivent, I got involved mostly for that hat, but then personally realized this is exactly where I want to serve in my community and use my experience with Thrivent and all of the experience I've gotten, you know, planning events, getting people to events, things like that. And actually, right now, we have an ongoing, I activated my kids' preschool. It's the Learning Arc Academy in Port St. Lucie. It's a very small Christian school, and the parents are donating wrapping paper right now, because one of the big things right now is getting the toys for tots, and none of those come wrapped. And so wrapping paper is a need that that Hibiscus has just for that. So there's a big box of wrapping paper in the middle of the preschool right now, and all the kids love looking at the designs on it, and it's just really neat to get other kids to give to kids that are their same age, too.
No, and that was such a great event. The thing that was astounding to me was the fact that, again, 40% of the people who attended that event were not part of Hibiscus before.
Right.
But this was an opportunity, and again, how the community came together with your generosity of the facility. The food was donated, the wine was donated, the entertainment was donated, and 98% of every dollar raised went directly for the kids. And you brought up my favorite day is coming up here in about, a couple of weeks, where I do put on my one and only red suit, although we are a little holiday today. I mean, this is great. We're kind of getting towards that. And I have the opportunity to go to the shelter last year, and we had about 38 kids. 21 were 6 and under. And the community did such a great job of bringing, and I know, Bob, you brought some bicycles, and I mean, the generosity, I could go on and on. Unfortunately, this is a short time period to show, so I will stay within our time frame, but I could go on forever. As you know, I don't have a problem speaking many times, especially when I feel the energy and the enthusiasm. But to see these young kids who, stacks of gifts that happened that would never have ever even witnessed this before, they all said, you know, this is a Christmas they'll never forget. I will tell you personally, this is a Christmas I'll never forget. And I'm looking forward to, again, to do that. And when the little kids came up to me and said, Santa, Santa, look what Santa brought me. And I said, I know what I brought you. Or they say, where are the reindeers? And I go, shh, they're up on the roof. We had a long night. Oh, yeah, that's right. And they're so cute. And they just remind me so much that children are children from wherever they come from. And that's what makes this such a great organization. And I know you
I hope to join you this year.
I know.
It's 6 in the morning. Santa gets there early.
And unfortunately, I get up pretty early to do that because I don't have a body made for it. But I'm sitting there trying to do it. It takes a little bit of time, but it is the most rewarding. We have volunteers come in and cook breakfast for the children. They look in their eyes and see the happiness that they would not have had if it wasn't for Hibiscus Children's Center and this community. And there's so many different ways that we do that.
Being the chair of St. Lucie, I'd really like to, I'd be remiss if I wouldn't thank our president of the Port St. Lucie Guild, Michael, and Veronica, that works for us, keeps all this stuff together. How she does, I'll never know. And also our board in St. Lucie County. When I became chairman last year, our year started, of course, July 1st.
Right.
I went around at our first board meeting and asked each member to contribute something during the 12 months that we were going to be there together. And we got a pledge of about $15,000 just from our board.
Yeah, in about 5 minutes you got that. That was great.
I mean, they really care about these kids, and they care about the community. So we are looking for good board members. And if you're interested, please call us.
No, I very well said. And again, we're looking forward to come July of this year. You take on a little bit bigger role. You'll be in charge of all 4 counties. And again, where our board members come from, they come from all walks of life. We have retirees, we have educators, we have professionals, we have entrepreneurs, we have volunteers, we have mothers, fathers,
CEOs,
exactly. And why that's important is because, again, our children come from all walks of life. There is not one size fits all. It's just we sit there, and the collaboration that happens from all of us is together is very heartwarming.
Our finance meetings, we have some very knowledgeable CEOs, presidents, accountants, that their services are free, and they're there supporting us, so we cannot thank them enough.
Yeah, the work of many makes the work very few. I mean, there's so many people involved that it's not a couple people carrying the load, and that's what's really refreshing about serving with Hibiscus, is that you're supported, and there's always people you can call, and they're eager to get involved and eager to help, and it really is a wonderful organization to volunteer with. If anyone has, you have an hour a week, not even that, you could volunteer with Hibiscus and fill that hour.
Yeah, one of the other unintended consequences is you run into a lot of nice people.
Yeah.
I can tell you, we have a lot of fun together. We share ideas, and it goes even beyond Hibiscus because, again, this is what the community does that makes it so wonderful to be part of it. I had the opportunity to talk to Levon Tilton again, our founder, a few days ago, and we talked and we looked about it. And I said, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, feel that what was a dream that you wanted to do could get to this level? And she looked at me and she smiled. She said yes, because she's a believer in good things happen to good organizations. And she says, and she looked at me and she said, Michael, not only that, she says, I can't wait to see what the next 30 years look like, And she'll be with us one way or another. I can assure you that. And again, this is something that. Hibiscus this season is really what it's all about, and I think you all touched about the season of giving, and we just sent out a card. And again, before it gets too late in the program, I do want to sit there and thank the community. As 2014 does come to a close, I'd like to sincerely thank you all for your generous support, whether it's in monetary, whether it's in your time, whether it's in your advertising, your sponsorships. But you make a difference in the lives of abused, neglected, and abandoned children. So I also, we would be remiss if I didn't wish you all and our entire organization, you and your family, a wonderful new year as well, because you've helped bring peace and joy into so many lives. And so we wish you all the best of happy and holiday season. We're going to continue to be here. We're looking forward. We're starting our 4th decade. New challenges. new opportunities, and most importantly, new smiles on the faces of children who probably didn't have much to smile about before Hibiscus Children's Center came here. So, got a couple of minutes left to go. Your thoughts for the season and as we close, and I'd love to hear from you.
Well, I'm just thankful for the opportunity to serve. I'm thankful for what Hibiscus does. I will say one thing I've learned really recently by talking to all of the different people in my community that I know is that it only takes one person to learn about Hibiscus. If you don't have time to volunteer on the board and you don't necessarily have time to do the guild, but you just want to learn about Hibiscus and get your group of friends involved and engaged, that's fine too, because it just takes one person that is passionate about an organization to help spark generosity in a lot of people. And that is very helpful too.
And that's exactly what it is. And I know Bob is a great example. When I happened to be sitting in your seat when you first joined the board, you brought in at least 4 or 5 new members who are currently still members, I believe.
Yeah.
And you got it right away. I mean, some people, you sit there and say, I'm not really sure why I'm here. What can I do to really make contributions? But like you hit the deck running. You knew exactly what you were. Of course, you have experience working with other organizations. Hibiscus, however, I believe is unique because of the children that we serve. But I just, if you might just want to just again in the few moments that we have left, is your thoughts on the holiday season and the children and again what you do for so many people.
Well, first of all, I think we should thank, and even though I'm chair of St. Lucie, I'd like to thank all of our boards and all of the board members for what they do for the kids. I'm very proud of our board. They have absolutely done amazing things in our first new board the past 6 months.
Correct.
And I know the other day you and I in a group were talking about maybe what's the future of Hibiscus. Maybe we're going to grow. Maybe a new building somewhere. Well, maybe a new plan to move. We need the help of the communities.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, without the communities and without their support, the money that we have to raise is a big challenge to us.
Right.
And so I thank everybody. I wish them all a very special holiday.
Well, and again, well said. I think I recall a little bit having a conversation with your wife about making the analogy of Hibiscus Children's Center and the college. You have 5 campuses in 4 counties, but you're one college. Mm-hmm. Hibiscus organization has 5 venues in 4 counties, but we're one organization. And that part which is so enlightening and so rewarding.
And one goal.
And one goal. It's all about the children. It has been 30 years ago. It'll be there 30 years from now. I wish you all the best of happiest of holidays. Thank you very much.